Hello, my name is Rachel, and welcome to what I like to call the ritual movement. It's come time after about 15 years of grad school, research, working with hundreds of clients, for me to share in the most authentic way that I can think of, this virtual playground, everything that I've learned with you, so that hopefully it serves you. Particularly around this question of how do we balance doing with being? How do we push forward, making the world a better place by achieving our goals, while still being and showing up as the person we want to be, while still being present for our everyday lives, while still respecting each moment as sacred and feeling the most alive that we can possibly feel? Just a little question I have. So the humble answer that I'll posit is this idea called rituals. And to understand rituals, we first need to understand habits. So there are hundreds of thousands of little behaviors we enact in our day-to-day lives. Most of them are automatic, that kind of fly under the radar. Could be something as simple as how you pour your morning cup of coffee in the morning. And, this automaticity is a good thing. It helps keep our brain from having to juggle too much at once. And these habits started out of innocence, really. A lot of us, our first habits started when we were very, very young, as an attempt to soothe ourselves or to chase a temporary feeling like pleasure. Or maybe we saw our caretakers behaving a certain way and we wanted to feel a sense of belonging, so we imitated them. These have kind of just run as our default settings for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And habits aren't a bad thing, like I said, but there can be a cumulative effect of these habits. And if they're not aligned with who you want to be and what you want to accomplish, you can find yourself waking up feeling lethargic, or bored, or at the effect of life, or even sick. Maybe you've gained some weight, maybe you've got some aches and pains, and this is just your new normal. Well, if that's the case, and that sounds like you, I know I've been there before, I'm human, then that's a time I would invite you to revisit your habits and to consider something that I like to call rituals. Now, first of all, I just love the word ritual. To me, the idea evokes a sense of reverence and appreciation for our everyday moments. Kind of a rite of passage that a lot of us are missing in our day-to-day lives. And the way I define it is, it being a ritual, is a set of practices that are anchored in your core values, or who you want to be or show up as, and intentionally designed to help you fulfill on what's important to you. And so in order to have rituals, it's important that we co-create together, or you read some of these tools that I'll be providing you here in articles and in our courses, attending events, or if you want to dive deeper, you can do coaching with me. And get really clear about what's important to you, what you see for yourself tomorrow, next week, a year, 5 years down the line, and the traits, the ways of being that you want to embody here. So that's step number one. And that's what I would call the cognitive part, the thinking part. Have you ever noticed, though, how it's one thing to know something is good for you and another to act on it? I definitely have, and that's where the body comes into play. So a big focus on changing our behaviors and keeping us from acting from a place of reaction or default like we do in our habits is to become grounded in our body and to learn to feel safe in our body. This meat suit is the filter through which we experience everything. And if we're feeling in a state of fight or flight or freeze, if we're trying to survive, if we are not taking exquisite care of this body, then it's going to be very hard to act in alignment with what we know conceptually is good for us. So big piece of the puzzle again is learning about mindset, about meditation, about nourishment, what we put into our body. That ends up ultimately being what our brain swims in. Movement, what a profound impact that movement has on our hormones, and a lot of other factors I won't get into in this video. Connection, how we connect with other human beings and with Mama Earth, again, all play such an important role in this body. So that's just a piece, short introduction of what the ritual movement is. I'm so excited you're here, and it's my intention to help you reclaim your health and your power and your sense of self-worth through embodied intentional living. And I just want to thank you again for coming, and know that what I offer here is not the truth. And I hope that you understand and learn to trust yourself, that you know what's best for you better than anyone else. And I hope that you'll take with you what serves you and that you'll leave the rest behind. Thank you again for coming, and welcome to the Ritual Movement.